The following is a presentation of Tuning into Sci-Fi TV, the viewer's guide to genre television.
All right, everybody stay here.
What could go wrong? Over the course of 3 nights, practically everyone here was turned.
He's gone. Our future depends on it. Make it safe.
We need a bigger gator!
Lisa, shoot it! Shoot it!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturday B Movie Reel. I'm Kevin Batchelder, and on this podcast, I'm going to be covering Curse of the Komodo. Welcome to the show, everyone. Great to have you coming back. Looking forward to talking about a fun film here, and always look for your feedback on the podcast and these particular films. Great that we get so many of you involved, and we listed at the end of the podcast, for those who are new, all of the different ways to contact us. Love the Facebook group at Fans of Sci-Fi Original Movies, probably the most popular of all those, because there's many of you in there sharing info on all kinds of different B movies, including your ratings as well, since I give the ratings in the 8 categories near the end. Love when you folks do the same for, might be the same title or some other titles you're watching. Makes for some fun discussions. All right, let's talk about some of the people who helped to make this film possible. And we have several actors I'm going to highlight. I tend to maybe only select some of the main players, but we have several recognizable faces and names here, so I kind of want to touch on them here. First off is Tim Abell. He's playing Jack, the helicopter pilot. He's got 80 credits listed on IMDb. Covered several of the films he's been in. Maybe most notably for me is Super Shark, a really fun Fred Olen Ray film from a few years ago. He was very good as a ship's captain in that particular film. But he was also in Battle of Los Angeles, Gargoyle, Raptor, and also the upcoming Sci-Fi original that's going to be airing at the end of July, Mega Shark vs. Colossus. Next up, we have William Langelis, I believe it's pronounced, playing Phipps. Only 5 credits listed from the acting side, but of those, we have Bone Eater and Gargoyle, films one of us may have seen, certainly. And he also has 10 writing credits, including Cry of the Winged Serpent, a film from 2007 that I've been trying to get my hands on. Didn't get a Region 1 DVD release. It's been released in a couple other regions, but haven't been able to track one down yet myself. Hear good things about that film. On the female side, we have Melissa Brazel, I believe it's pronounced. But she's more commonly known as Rocky DeMarco. She's playing Tiffany here. 23 credits. Definitely recognizable for those of you who are, B-movie fans. She was in Camel Spiders and Raptor. Also The Wasp Woman, the 1995 version, as well as 1996's Demolition High. We also have Gail Harris. She's playing Dawn. She has 40 credits listed. Very recognizable face and name. Paul Logan. He's playing Drake here. He's got 54 credits. We've covered several of the films he's been in. Again, maybe most notably for him, Mega Piranha. He was great as the lead opposite Tiffany in that one. He's also been in Mega Fault, The Terminators, Komodo vs. Cobra, and he's going to be in the upcoming Cobra Gator. We also have Ted Monty here playing Hanson. He's got 53 credits, including Jersey Shore Shark Attack, Super Shark, Megaconda, Dire Wolf, and also Komodo vs. Cobra, which several of the folks in this film were also in. We have Gloria Ann Gilbert. She's playing Rebecca, or Becky, she was called more often in the film. 29 credits, including Cry of the Winged Serpent and that Komodo vs. Cobra. And a couple of other faces and names, smaller roles, but definitely want to note it here. One is Jay Richardson. He's playing Foster. The military guy, kind of like the general, the one calling all the shots. 93 credits, many films over the years, including that Komodo versus Cobra. Also Mega Scorpions, the classic B film, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, 1988. If you have not seen that one, folks, and you're a fan of exploitation films, you have to see it. He is great as Jack Chandler in that film. And also Richard Gabai, playing Jeffries here. He was, the military guy, Jay Richardson's character's, assistant. 51 credits, including Raptor and The Wasp Woman. Also Dinosaur Island. A great film co-directed by Fred Olen Ray and Jim Wynorski. We'll talk more about that film a little later in the podcast. And this film is directed, listed in the credits as Jay Andrews, which is just a pseudonym for Jim Wynorski, the well-known B-movie director, over 100 films, tons and tons of classics. I could sit here just listing name after name after name, because we've covered many of Jim's films here on this podcast. One of the great B-movies of all time for me, The Lost Empire, but he's also, done Piranha and Camel Spiders, Gila, Chopping Mall, Not of This Earth, the remake, and the upcoming Cobra Gator. Could go on and on. The writer of this one was Steve Latshaw. Now, he does have 30 writing credits, including the return of the Killer Shrews. That's a fairly recent one, along with Megaconda and Planet Raptor. All right, let's talk about the content of this particular film. Now, this does draw a few similarities to me to Piranha, mainly for location. This one is set in Hawaii. We get a couple of different locations where they give us the location information. It's great that we get to see the creature pretty quick. I think about 3 minutes in, it's pecking off some what look like to be army types who have come in to, we're guessing at this point, potentially to catch it or in some way look at it. So it's taking those out fast. We do get some good setup there as we see a little bit with that Foster, the military guy. I'm going to call him General. I'm not sure if they ever gave him a title in the film, but he's the one talking about the fact that what's going on this island is actually called Project Catalyst. They've got some scientists there. The scientist folks thought this was all about, growing more food, the idea of accelerating that. And, of course, we know that's going to end up coming into play to create our creatures. We get on I wouldn't call it a side story, but as far as introducing the other characters beyond the science and military types, that's where we see Drake and Tiffany, Rocky and Paul's characters here. They're pulling off a heist at a casino, stealing some money. There's some big storm that's coming in. That's what forces them. They may try to make their getaway in that chopper with Tim Abell's character taking them, but that's not going to go well. They can't get very far, and they end up having to land on the island, which, of course, is the one with the creature and the scientists. So eventually they, have to leave from their helicopter. The pilot there tells them it's not flyable, and they go walking off. And that's the way that those folks are going to eventually run into our scientist types who are out dealing. We started to see them dealing with the fact they've got this electronic type fence around their facility to keep the Komodo out. That's set up pretty good. They're out doing some research. We get to see Becky's out there with some of the other scientists. She takes the opportunity to go for a topless swim with the Komodo watching, and eventually they encounter it along with our other, shall we say, bad guys or thieves, whatever you want to call them there. They help them out, and that's how our characters all come together, and they have to make a run for it to get back to the compound. So that's a good way to get them all together. Things are moving pretty crisp, kind of like this. Good creature type setup. Good way to get different folks together. Everybody's got a little bit of a secret going on. Our scientist tribes are trying to call the military folks to say, get us out of here, and they're stalling because they realize they don't want them telling the press and everybody else what might be going on. So it's the classic story of getting them kind of, or hanging them out to dry, leaving them on their own. So they've got to try to work together. And naturally, if they're at this compound, they can't safely stay behind the fence. That doesn't make for good drama. They got to be running out of gas and what they can use to, run the power to cover their stuff. So it's a good, very good classic setup type. This film's back from, I think, 2004. So certainly some of the CGI stuff you get with the creatures is nowhere what we're seeing now 10 years plus later, but still works very well. You've got shortcuts here and there, and the creature doesn't look too bad going up against our types, eating a person here or there. But it was good to watch the interaction of the characters, people not trusting each other, who's who. We get a couple little storylines of a couple of folks who get infected from the poisonous stuff that comes from the Komodo that turn into almost zombie-like creatures. We lose a person or two. That'll play a bigger part more towards the end of the film, but that was a unique thing. I hadn't thought about that one. It was kind of creating some good tension from here and there. All the ladies in the film, very attractive. Rocky especially looks very good in her white tank top, and like I said, Becky has a topless swim, so certainly get some good eye candy for the guys there. That works very well. Eventually they have to decide to make a run for it, go back to the chopper that they had been told wasn't able to fly, but actually was. I really like the way Tim Abell played his character, Jack. He was, playing all sides and working very well at it. So they're going to make a run for it, and that's part of where they spend the latter part of the film. Becky was the daughter of one of our other lead characters, the lead scientist guy, so that creates a little bit of the family dynamic that's going there. And that worked pretty good. Making a run, having to fight here or there. The dad character gets himself wounded a little bit. because of one of those zombie-type creatures that attacks the gang when they're trying to take a kind of a bit of a pit stop at a cabin they came across on the way to get to the beach to get back to the chopper, which is a nice setup for once they do eventually get to the beach, to the chopper. You know what's going to be standing near the chopper. Of course, it's the monster. A little bit of fighting. I mean, these folks only have, guns, machine guns. It's not like they're going to take out this big creature. But in the ensuing fight, when the creature starts threatening the daughter, Becky, the dad's the one who's got a C4 charge and he's been wounded, probably not going to do well. He's the one who entices the creature to come to eat him because he's got the charge. We've seen this in a couple of the films we've covered over the last couple of months. Come eat me because I got the dynamite or whatever. So when you swallow me, I'm going to blow you up. And sure enough, it does. So that was a good traditional way to take him out near the end. By now the army's coming in to use napalm and, torch the entire island, destroy all the evidence. So they got to get off as fast as they can. We have lost, unfortunately, Tiffany. So Drake's kind of on his own with his money. He's got to try to get his bag as the chopper's, getting ready to go off. So the fact he's more interested in the money causes him to miss the chopper. But I like how eventually the people do get off the island. The military types are going to be getting in trouble. We like to see that. And even though it looks like Drake got left behind and might be able to at least live on the island, as we see him sitting with his bag of money, oh no, we get to see like a whole family of the Komodos coming after him. So that's not going to work out well. So that was a nice way to have him kind of get his comeuppance. So as you can probably tell, tone of voice and the way moving through it, very enjoyable film. Really enjoyed it quite a bit. Definitely a good creature one. Well done, certainly for the time. Moves fast. Some actors who know what they're doing. And like I say, visually some good stuff, Certainly the ladies I appreciated there, but also Paul Logan was looking very buff himself in the film too. So it's got some good stuff all around. All right, let's give you the ratings in the 8 categories. This is where I go from 1 to 10, or maybe not applicable. And again, don't think like school days. These aren't 7 as being average. These are, you can learn, up to 10 points in something. It's a good thing to be on the upper side. All right, title. A curse in there is good. A creature name is good. So we'll give them 7 strong points there. Plot works well. It's very much your basic creature film of getting a couple different groups together and the fact that folks are isolated and don't know how to deal with it. So it's fine there. Nothing wrong with it at all. Very good. It's a solid 7. Acting, for the most part, is very good. A couple of the folks are a little inexperienced, and we do see that in these type of films. But as you heard me from the details, many folks with more than 40, 50 credits. So it's a very strong cast that really know what they're doing. So I'm going to give them a very solid 8 here. Special effects, again, put us back in the mindset of early 2000s. It worked fine. It wasn't done poorly. It didn't exactly stand out, not that you really wanted it to. So again, it's a solid 7. Cheese level, this is where I debated whether or not to really give it a rating because this is close to horror in the way it's done. I mean, it's a very solidly done creature film. There's not much winking at the camera. There's not a lot of humor, really. So I'm not sure it really is considered cheesy other than the big monster. But I'll give him 6 points because it does have a little bit of that aspect to it. Eye candy, as I mentioned, very good. Certainly Rocky does very well. She looks great here as she has in many other films. So this is, along with the other ladies, very good. I'll give them 8 points for the eye candy. Rewatchability, very solid. I could definitely rewatch this one a couple of times from time to time. You can really get lost in it as it moves through because it is at a pretty good pace. Lose a little bit, as some films do, on a little walking through the jungle, but not much, really. Pretty crisp. So I'll say 7. Death scenes, had a few of them. It was pretty consistent for anything we saw on screen. Someone standing there with their arms up, screaming or such have, and then the creature taking down in one big bite. So not like we had an epic soliloquy type death scenes, but a decent body count. Works pretty well. We'll give them 6 points here for that. All right, that's my thoughts on Curse of the Komodo. If you've seen this one, certainly look forward to hearing from you on it. Love to see or hear your thoughts. Feel free to use any of the feedback methods that we list here on the podcast or come by the website at SaturdayBMovieReel.com. You'll see all the options there as well. So thanks very much, folks, and I will catch you soon. We offer several ways for you to get in touch with us. You can come by our website at SaturdayBMovieReel.com and leave a comment on any of our blog posts. There's a link there to our discussion forums. You can also send us private email at feedback@tuningintoscifitv.com or leave us a voicemail message 24 hours a day at 206-202-4182. We also offer a SpeakPipe widget that's on the right side of any of the pages on our website. where you can use your computer or smartphone to leave us a recorded message. And you can find us on Twitter at SATBMovieReel. And our most popular option is our Facebook group. Just search for Fans of Sci-Fi Original Movies, or follow the link to that from any of our blog posts.
Listen to Tuning Into Sci-Fi TV on Stitcher Radio On Demand. Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. You've been listening to the Tuning Into Sci-Fi TV Saturday B-Movie Reel, episode 172, recorded June 25, 2015.